Greetings, everyone. Welcome to this month's live and online expression session. Such a pleasure to have everybody here from across the world, from across LA, from across the country. This month, we are honored to have activist, artist, and troublemaker Amina Phoenix, the artist LA, as our feature. How's it going, Amina?
Hi, how are you?
Good, good. Can everybody give yourselves a little snaps for being here today? So our theme for this week, for this month, is creating your own status quo. Creating your own status quo. So what we'd like to do to get started is if you could share your name, where you're calling in from, and what that theme means to you. And since our feature selected the theme, Amina, could you start with sharing your name, where you're calling in from, and what that status meant for you, where it came from for you in selecting that as our theme?
Sure. So my name's Amina. I also go by Phoenix the Artist LA on Instagram. And I think the theme for me really started in my history of activism when I was a teen. And, when I was involved with anti-war activism, it really was about, I think this is wrong and I'm going to speak out about it. And that way I felt like I was creating my own status quo. I was saying that, this is what I believe and I'm going to fight for it.
Wonderful. Can we snap it up for Amina? That was powerful. And for the folks on Facebook Live, feel free to come join us in the session by clicking the link, or you can participate on Facebook Live. Amina, who would you like to go next?
Dora.
Dora!
I want to pretend that I didn't see that coming, but I am Dora, and creating my own. I'm calling in from LA, not right next door to where Tom's actually holding his session space.
Behind me, and I'm in front of you.
It's true. In fact, if I look to the left, and there was no wall between us, we'd be looking at each other. But I think creating my own status quo is very much, I was saying to Tom, almost the opposite of a Facebook status or an Instagram, how are you feeling now? It's more about something that it isn't about the here and now, but about what I want to be my new normal. So yeah, creating my new normal. I'm taking the empowerment of making my own decisions and making them into actual course of my life sort of thing, as opposed to just waiting for the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune to knock me from left to right.
That's powerful. Can we snap it up for Dora, please? Yeah. Dora, who would you like to go next?
I would like Victoria to go next if she's able to.
Victoria's driving, so we're gonna wait until Victoria's not driving.
Okay, let's have Razza go next.
Okay, Razza.
Hi. Okay, so this is Razza from Corona, California.
Woo!
Joining you guys for the first time. So, pardon my boo-boos here. All right. Can you guys hear me? Okay.
Very clearly.
Okay. Cool. So, creating your own status quo. Well, the first thing that came to my mind was, in light of lately what I've experienced and whatnot, was something that I practice and try to do is just sort of along the lines of letting it go and letting it be. So pray, breathe, and let it be, regardless of what comes your way. Embrace it, accept it, and find strength in it. So pray, breathe, let it be. I'll leave it at that.
That is amazing. I like that. Pray, breathe, and let it be. Thank you for that, Razza. Can we please snap it up? Show some love. And Crystal, I think that means that you are next. Would you like to share with us?
Sure. I'm Crystal. I'm calling from Corona, California. It's nice to hear Corona. There's someone else here. So the status quo, creating my own status quo. I guess what that means to me is you know, when you're young and you get these little toys and you have to fit the shapes into the thing that it goes into, right?
Yes.
And I feel like my entire life I was like this oblong, like strange, like alien shape from outer space that could not find anything to fit into. And so I think creating my own status quo is, instead of trying to fit into something else, to go where my shape can meet other oblong, crazy shapes, and we can all just party together.
I like that. Can we snap it up for Crystal? Show Crystal some love. Okay, so my name is Tamara, calling in from Los Angeles, California, planet Earth. And what creating your own status quo to me means is living your truth, is really trusting your own inner guidance system rather than doing things out of obligation, fear of punishment, desire for reward, just really living your own truth. So that's why when Amina suggested it, I was like, yeah. And I like how it's uniquely worded too. It's worded in a way that you don't normally hear. You hear like not wanting to be the status quo or breaking away from the status quo. So I like how it's said in a way like that, of creating your own status quo. That's cool. So can we snap it up for Tom? Woo! Awesome. And I think somebody shared on Facebook Live. Okay, cool. And we have Al, he's calling in from London, and I have been trying to work out what my status quo is for years. I tend to shift for my surroundings and roll with the punches. Status quo for me is a constant state of flux, and I think that's okay. I think if we crave a stability or some notional rock, we can get lost in seeking and miss all of the randomness. Can we snap it up for Al? That was deep. Could you hear me? I know.
Yeah. All the random joy that life throws our way while we try to work out who we are.
That is so. I'm glad you completed it correctly, because it was ... for me. So thank you for that, Al. If you keep posting, we'll read for you. So we appreciate that. Thank you for that. So the way we're going to do this is that we're going to build upon this theme throughout the rest of the writing workshop. We have a lot of people who have been here before, so y'all know what's coming. For those who have not, we're going to do a group poem, and then we're going to do a 20-second poem, and then it's going to culminate in a free write. And the whole thing then, after we read our free writes, will be Amina will take us home with an awesome featured performance. A couple things we want to say right from the beginning is that there's no wrong or right way to create art. So when you're going to share, you don't have to say things like, well, I'm not that good, or I've never done this, or I don't really know. There's no wrong or right way. Everything that you create was exactly supposed to be created in this moment. We're here more for the process of coming together as diverse groups of people to connect and express, and community and creativity. So really just kind of dive into the process rather than trying to analyze, am I good or bad at something? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Anybody have anything they want to add on to that before we move on to the writing workshop? Sweet. Looks like I nailed it. Go Tom. So the group poem is that we're going to, right off the bat, prove that we can all write a poem and it's super easy. The way we're going to do that is we're going to write a poem with our powers combined. So what's going to happen is we're all going to write down 2 sentences that come to mind from the prompt, creating your own status quo. The sentences, though, aren't going to be read one after the other. They're going to be read separately. So when you write them, know that they're not going to be read one after the other. The sentences don't have to make sense. They don't have to rhyme. They don't have to be deep. Just any 2 sentences that come to mind around the theme, creating your own status quo. Any questions on what we're doing? No?
No questions.
Perfect. Okay, let's get to writing. Okay, thumbs up if you're ready. Peace sign if you need more time. Dora? Good. Razza, ready?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're each going to read our sentence out loud, and we're going to go around the circle and read one. And then after we read the sentence, we're going to loop back around the second time and have you read your second sentence. Some things to consider is before you read your sentence is to not give any explanations or disclaimers or I didn't really get the prompt or I feel I did this wrong. We're going to leave these things alone and just share your sentence one after the other, and we're going to together create a group poem with it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the order we're going to go in. It's going to go Amina, then Tom, Crystal, Razza, Dora, and then Amina will start us again.
Who's reading Owls?
What?
Owls from Facebook.
Let's see. Al, if you post yours. Oh, you did post yours. Okay. I can read Al's too. Or Dora, can you read Al's?
Where should his be?
You can read his right after yours.
Okay.
Perfect.
Would it be confusing?
Yeah.
Okay, how about you read his in between me and Crystal?
Sounds good.
So it'll go Amina, Tom, Al reading, Crystal reading, Dora reading Al's. Then Crystal, then Razza, then Dora. I like it. So Al, post yours so Dora can read them. We see you have one. If you have another one, feel free to post it, and Dora will read it for you.
Okay.
All right.
Start off?
Go ahead.
Okay. I am my own standard.
I walk the pathway of my own truth, guided from my inner voice.
I am not in the army now or ever.
I want to discard what upholds unjust structures.
To accept and embrace the struggles that come my way.
My status symbol is serenity because I've created my status quo.
And Amina?
I am my own person.
There are times where relaxation and release serve me more than willpower and grit.
Sorry, I've just lost my screen.
I don't see a second one.
It was part of the first sentence. Oh, there it is. There is nothing so entrenched that it cannot be shifted.
Ooh.
I will dismantle and deconstruct the status quo.
Knowing that I am not alone swimming in this bay.
I don't just bob along the tide like so much driftwood. Instead, I'm a cruise liner, enjoying the journey as much as the destination.
Ooh. Can we snap it up for our team poem? And thank you, Al, for sharing yours so that this was an international poem. We appreciate the heck out of that. What was that like, y'all, to get to hear our team poem?
It was great.
That's
I love
great.
how it fit, really fit into every sentence, even though they were all different, they flowed together.
I agree. That was nice.
Mm-hmm.
Razza, were you starting to say something?
Well, I just said that was great. It was great to hear that. That's all I said.
What was great about it?
Well, I don't know. Just everyone's each own. I felt like, I know, feelings in the moment coming out.
That's wonderful. Amina, what was that like for you to hear this theme that you came up with? All these different poems that it kind of gave life to.
I think it was really cool to hear everyone's spin on it. You know, it had the theme running throughout, but then everyone had their own take.
Yeah, I agree. Dora, any thoughts?
I do always enjoy this because it's never predictable. And as much as we all talk and share our own feelings on status quo at the beginning, it's as if by the time we come to do the group poem, we develop more of our own idea about what we said. And sometimes other people's opinions bleed into it, and suddenly you just get such an interesting mosaic.
I resonate with that. I think it's nice to see. I think a theme throughout all of this is going to be the way we take one idea in our own unique ways that we bring it together, all while at the same time hearing each other's thoughts and each other's thoughts. I think that's the fun thing about connecting with other people rather than just writing by yourself.
Exactly.
Can we snap it up for our team pose? Okay, now what we're going to move into is one of Adora's favorite parts. It's the 20-second poem. And what that is you're going to get 10 different writing prompts. And the writing prompts are going to come from conversations that we've already been having or from people's answers, and I'm going to turn into a question. And the thing is you get 20 seconds to answer each writing prompt. The reason you get 20 seconds is it is going to get us into the habit of, rather than trying to think of what to write or trying to kind of critique it before it goes onto a page, instead what we're going to do is try to develop our Freewrite. We're going to try to develop trusting our subconscious and the ideas that come out when we do it that way. Can y'all give me a peace sign if that makes sense? Okay, perfect. So everybody wants to get their pens and pencils ready. And we're going to give you 20 seconds to answer each writing prompt. I'm going to keep your lines on mute during this part. So if you have a question, wave to me, and then we'll unmute your lines. But there's a little bit of feedback, so we're going to keep you on mute. Ready? Okay. Number 1. What does the new normal look like for you in 2018? What does your new normal look like for you in 2018? Ten, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Number 2 is, what is a decision you have made where you felt empowered in making it? What is a decision you have made where you felt empowered in making it? Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. What is something that you have recently blessed, released, and let go of? What is something that you have recently blessed, released, and let go of? Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. What do you need to accept in order to live in your own status quo? What do you need to accept in order to live in your own status quo? Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Number 6, where do you go for your unique shapes to be in community with other unique shapes? If we think of the blocks example that Crystal gave, where do you go for your uniqueness to be in community with other uniqueness? Five, four, three, two, one. Number 7. Who is a role model to you for being their own status quo? Who is a role model to you for being their own status quo? What'd you say?
Was that number 7 or number 6? I've lost track.
7.
Okay, I must have missed number 6.
Number 6 was, where do you go for your unique shapes to connect with other unique shapes?
Maybe it was number 5 then.
Number 5, what do you need to, did I ask this? What do you need in order to accept living your own status quo?
No, I didn't. I missed that
Okay,
one.
so I lied. We are on number 6. That was number 6. Who's a role model for being their own status quo? That was number 6. Is that cool if we give 5 seconds for that? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Number 7, correct? Number 7. What do you need to accept in order to live in your own status quo? What do you need to accept to live in your own status quo? Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Number 8. What do you enjoy about living your own status quo? What do you enjoy about living your own status quo? Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Number 9. What is your status quo? What is your status quo? Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Number 10, last and final one. What was a time where you trusted your inner voice? What was a time where you trusted your inner voice? Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Your lines are unmuted. Can you snap it up for that little exercise? Before we jump in, Victoria, I see of your hand raised. Are you with us? No. Okay, must have been an accidental hand raised. Okay, so now what we're going to get a chance to do is to share out some of these. So what's a number that people are curious to hear some answers to?
Number 2.
Number 2 is a decision you have made where you felt empowered in making it. Who would like to start with that one? What's a decision you've made where you felt empowered in making it?
I can share.
Okay.
I decided to sleep more than 7 hours a night.
Yeah! How many do you sleep?
Well, we all sleep. I don't sleep enough, so.
No, you said you started to sleep more than 7, right? You get a minimum of 7 a night?
Yeah.
How, do you normally sleep exactly 7, or are you able to get some 8 or 9s?
I used to sleep like 6 hours. Now I sleep like 8.
Yay! Yeah, that changed my life.
I used to be 4, now I'm
4?
6.
Wow. We got up real early for the Women's March yesterday, and we got like 5 hours. I could barely function.
Yeah, exactly.
Who else wants to share that one? And if anybody could share Al's, if Dora, if you wouldn't mind sharing, if you see if Al posted any.
Sure.
Is there anyone else that wants to share number 2, or shall we move on to a different one?
I'll share.
Okay, go ahead.
So I felt empowered to release all the anger that I held on to in my body.
That is powerful. Yes. Can we snap it up? Can we show Crystal some love for that one? Victoria, can you hear us? Because we can see you now.
Yes, and I had to go into my settings to get the thing off mute.
Okay, perfect. Did you catch any of the writing prompts?
I got a couple of the questions.
Okay, perfect. If for any of them you have an answer, we'd love to hear your response. Is there anyone else that shared for number 2, or should we move on?
I'll share mine. But I'm just, Al has written for everything. It's just I'm having trouble with my screen at the moment. But I'll give you mine in the meantime.
Okay.
While I work out what is going on with me and Facebook Live.
Okay.
Mine was learning new skills that are unrelated to creativity, things that I've always really loved, like numbers. And so I'm looking at accounting courses and computing courses and coding courses and things like that. So
that's amazing. Can we show Dora some love? Yeah, and I saw you post some of those, like the QuickBooks one. That's cool.
Yes.
Okay, what's another number y'all would like to hear?
I want to hear 4.
4? What is something that you've blessed, released, and let go of? Victoria, was that one of the ones that you answered?
Yeah, I said anger.
Anger. That's powerful. Appreciate you sharing that with us. Who else would like to share one on number 4? Crystal, would you like to share?
Oh, sure. I wanted to give everyone else a chance. The past, negative energy, and karma that no longer serves me.
Dang, this is a group that's just really going to rock 2018. We're getting sleep. We're letting go of anger, things that don't serve us. Oh, my goodness. I'm glad I'm friends with y'all.
2018 will be the year of healing.
I mean, inshallah.
Yes.
Anyone else want to share number 4, or should we go on to a different number? What's the number people are curious to do? Let's do number 8, because I can see one of Al's responses for number 8. 8 is, what do you enjoy about living your own status quo? And I see Al wrote, I like to be surrounded by things I love, but mostly my status quo is chaos. Ooh. Can we show Al some love for that one? Yes, indeed. Thank you, Al. Who else would like to share? What do you enjoy about living your own status quo? Number 8.
I can share, I guess. So I enjoy peace within myself by accepting reality.
Appreciate that, brother. I like, for that one, I enjoy about living my own status quo is full responsibility. That knowing that whether my life is going good, it's going bad, whatever's coming towards me, that I have control over it, where I can say that this was my doing, or I had some role in this, rather than blaming some mysterious forces or other people around me. Amina, what's one that you would like to hear folks share out?
I would say, let's see, number 7.
Number 7. What do you need to accept in order to live your own status quo?
Al wrote the fact that I'm not a cookie cut human and that I have leaky bits.
Thank you for that, Al. I like that.
I think I wrote essentially what Tom was saying, really. I need to accept personal responsibility and to let go, really.
Victoria, was that one of the ones you answered?
No. Well, no, because I don't really have my own status quo yet. I still fit into society. I work a 9 to 5. I have 2.5 children, and I live in a house in the suburbs. So we're still working on it.
And you don't feel any of that is something that you're happy about, or a decision you've made, or is your own unique way of either doing a 9 to 5 or having children? Does any of it have any uniqueness for you, or your own touch?
I don't think any of it's unique. I think I'm still working on making it my own and stuff like that. Because, yeah, I don't know.
Well, that's all good. We appreciate you being here and creating with us. Does anyone have any that they'd like to share on that one? What do you need to accept to live your own status quo? What's another number? Who's
number 6? I'd love to hear number 6 if no one else is.
Who suggested number 7?
That was Amina.
Amina, then we should hear from you. What did you say for number 7? And then we'll move on.
I said I need self-acceptance and good friends.
Ooh.
I like that. Crystal's signing up. Crystal, you have unlocked the communicating through video while you're talking. You have that unlocked. I like that. Where you're able to communicate on mute or not mute. I'm taking notes.
I'm expressive with my hands, so
I know, it's great. Was there a number? Who hasn't got a Razza? What's the number that you would like us to share out on?
6 would be good. Actually, the role model.
Okay.
Razza.
Who's a role model that is living their status quo? You want to start us off, Razza?
Sure. My mother, for me, is the most amazing role model for living it out. Where she believes in what she embraces, the level of contentment, and living it, keeping it real.
That's powerful. Can we snap it up for Razza's mom? Yeah. Who else would like to share on that one?
for number 6?
Yeah. Who's a role model for living their own status quo?
The Reverend Felicia Perez.
Ooh. You might tell us a little bit about her?
She is the founder of the Revolution of Love Ministries. Ooh. And she's an ordained interfaith minister. So she has studied pretty much every major religious tradition in the world, and her guidance and her energy and the way that she lives her life is so rooted in this concept of like revolutionary love, divine love, and she lives and breathes and speaks it daily. And you can truly see that she has utilized all of that to heal herself and to help others heal as well. And so I just think that she's an incredible human being, a blessing to us all. And if you guys have Facebook, well, I mean, you're all on Facebook, but look her up, Reverend Felicia Perez. She's amazing.
That's what's up. Appreciate that, Crystal.
That's so cool. You should put it in the chat box so that we have it.
Yeah, I will do that. Let me find the link.
Does anyone else want to share on that one?
I'll share. I would say mine would be my grandmother. She's passed on already, but she was very much a leader, a feminist in her own time. Encouraged all her daughters and granddaughters to educate and support themselves, and so she really serves as an inspiration for me.
That's powerful. Thank you for sharing that. Can we snap it up for Amina's grandma? Victoria, what is a number you would like to hear us share out?
All of my
before we move
numbers
on,
are
though,
wrong.
Go ahead. What'd you say, Dora?
I was saying before we move on, did you share, or would you like to?
Who, me?
Mhm.
I did not. No, I'm trying to be mindful of time for. So I'll share on the next one that Victoria picks.
All of my numbers are wrong.
That's okay. Tell me the question, and I'll tell you the number.
I think you guys might have covered. Where do you go to, like, be with your own squares or whatever it was?
Okay. Yeah. Where do you and your unique shapes find community with other unique shapes?
Yeah, that one.
That was number 5, and I might have told you it was number 6.
I said books for that one.
Ooh, I like that. What's one of your top books?
I like the whole Stephanie Plum series by Janet Ivanovich.
Oh, writing this down.
Mm.
Anyone else want to share on that one? Where do you go to find community?
Oh yeah, I guess say that. So I try to join specific like spiritual gatherings where there's a sense of community and like-minded people. So those are the places I like to go to.
That's powerful. Anyone else want to share on that one? I can share. For me, I like to just go anywhere where there's people who are open-minded. So that can be online or in person, and where we can kind of move past small talk quickly. Or it's like we're either intentionally building relationships or kind of going into deeper conversations. I like that. So anyone else want to share that before we move on? Okay, and we have somebody new joining us.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Al said, I go to the places where there are people who are not well paid and not self-important. And in those places, I work hard. And yeah, I was working construction last week, and it was beautifully uncomplicated.
Ooh. And can we show Al some love for still participating through Facebook Live?
Woo, woo, woo.
And Hasna wants to share through the chat box. So if we could all look this way. And if you could just share where you're calling in from in the chat box, we'd appreciate that. There we go. How do you pronounce that? Cerritos? Is that how you say that? Cerritos, California. Okay, cool. Yeah. And Hasna is one of the founders of the Women's Mosque here in LA. So we want to send you some love for that right there. Has anybody been there before? Anybody been there for one of the Jumas?
Yeah, I was actually a khatiba, not khatiba, sorry, muadhina. I did the call to prayer, I think 2 or 3 times, twice maybe.
Ooh.
It was amazing. It was so
Wow.
Yeah.
So cool.
Everyone
Mashallah.
should go at least once.
What?
And then come back again.
Yes. And donate.
Yeah.
Okay. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take everything we've written, everything we've done, and turn it into a free write. And so what we're going to do with the free write, I'm just going to mute everybody's lines for a sec. What we're going to do with the free write is during that process, when we say begin, is you write without stopping. And if you can't think of anything to write, then you just write the theme over and over again, creating my own status quo, creating my own status quo, creating my own status quo. The reason you'd write without stopping is that if you pause, you might start to judge yourself, or you might start to critique your writing, or say, oh, I'm not very good at this, or this is not my thing, or Tom said I didn't have to write, now here I am. So we want to kind of get momentum so that the brain can't tell you that you can't do this. And instead, like we've been saying, trusting your inner voice, trusting your writing, trusting who you are. And so you just write anything that you can think of. It doesn't have to rhyme, doesn't have to make sense. And your pen does not stop writing no matter what. So if you can't think of anything to write, you write the theme. Any questions on that? Nope. Sounds like we're good. Okay. So we're going to do this for 7.5 minutes. Okay, so everybody get your pens, get your typing, get your paper, get whatever you have ready. And then same thing with on Facebook Live. And then we will come back in 7.5 minutes with our free write. Sounds good? All right, here we go. We're going to take 30 more seconds to finish up what you have, and then we'll come back together. Can we snap it up for our free write? And I lied. We went 9 minutes. That's a 9-minute free write. So if you had doubted your ability to write for 9 minutes, you have proved yourself incorrect and instead proven that you have the ability to do anything. What we do now is we are going to share our free write. And each person gets a chance to share. And after they share, we're going to have a minimum of 2 people share 2 affirmations or 2 things they appreciated about what the person wrote. Does that make sense? The process we'll use? Okay. Who would like to go first? Looks like, is that a hand, Victoria?
Yeah, it's a hand.
Victoria.
Okay. I'm going to mute everybody's line. Victoria, you have the floor whenever you are ready.
All right. Creating your own status quo is a way to break free from the norms of society, but for most, we fight to find our place in society. For someone born outside of the it's hard to accept the need to break free again. Stick to what you know. Fear of failure and fear of success are 2 things that can stop someone from creating their own status quo. Society is like the evil witch that wants to lock your differences in the highest tower and guard it with the fire-breathing dragons. To reject yourself is to creating your own status quo, creating your own status quo, creating your own status quo. There is no definition of beauty. There is no definition of creating your own status quo, creating your own status quo. An IQ of 132, and all we ever did was try to fit in with you. You never saw me study, and I didn't say that. Even though you failed, I still got an A. They got brand name clothes just like the rest and cheated on their midterm calculus test. We crumpled our homework and ate food that's stale and didn't tell them we were accepted to Yale. To feel some acceptance or some kind of love, though, we turned down our chances of creating our own status quo. Create your own status quo, creating your own status quo. Have a house and some children, have a wife and 3 kids, have a smile on your face, ignore adversities, don't complain, go to work, or create your own status quo.
Yes. Can we show some love to Victoria?
Yes.
Very cool.
Can we share 2 affirmations? 2 people share 1 affirmation? Go ahead, Dora.
That was awesome. It felt like a real unfolding of thought as you went through it. I absolutely believe that was a free write, and a free write that seemed to come from the soul. From the beginning with all the talk of locking it up from a wicked witch and the fire-breathing dragons, to the end when it was just kind of like IQs and stale food and going to Yale, all of it was just so, very, very real. And I really appreciated that.
Yes. Go ahead, Crystal.
I wanted to say that I really connected with the part where you said, where you mentioned your IQ and just trying to fit in. I was also tested when I was really young, and I was put in like gifted and talented programs and all this stuff. And I was always trying to like fit in with people, not realizing that I had my own special gift to give, you know? So I really, really connected with that. And it kind of like when you're deemed smart, you know, or whatever, you tend to get isolated from everyone else. When really it's just an opportunity to connect with everyone on a deeper level.
That's powerful. Powerful affirmations for a powerful poem. Can we snap it up for Victoria one more time? Thank you, Victoria. Victoria, who would you like to nominate or encourage to go next?
Let me see who else here.
And we have Al on Facebook Live too. He's a person you can choose as well.
Okay, let's go with Crystal.
Crystal!
Okay.
Crystal, let me just mute everybody's line. 1 second. Okay, whenever you're ready.
I woke up today feeling calm and prepared, aware, ready to let go of all my cares, ready to accept what I could not reject, ready to be the me I've always wanted to be. I almost died. I don't want to tell the world yet, but I was stuck inside, my head on that ride, to the emergency room, and all that was left was my mind and the divine. And the command with the source of all manifested creation. And the forces of universal compression brought me back to self-compassion. Grandmother, I want to live. Are you with me? Hush, don't worry. You are rightly guided. You are of the undivided, unparalleled magnificence, resplendent soul forces inside you. And I declared in those moments that I want to live. The water splashed on my face. I could not respond, dripped into my mouth and nose, and my cousin panicked. Foot to gas pedal like it was made out of lead. I'm awake now. I'm ready to live. I'm ready to give like it's going out of style. Just give me a little while, because I'm still healing. I'm still forming the constructs of my rebirth. The ashes this phoenix rose from are the ashes of regression, and the fires of my new wings are fueling my progression. I just need some time before I can fly to a new status quo.
Yes, can we show Crystal some love? That was powerful. Can we share 2 affirmations, please? Who'd like to start us off?
I'll go.
Go ahead, Amina.
I think the imagery in your poem was awesome. I felt like everything that you're describing, I could like see it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Go ahead, Dora.
I love the journey you took us on from the beginning. It was all kind of in almost real time. It feels like everything happened in the same day, even though it was a journey of a soul that could have been a millennia, and it was just this whole starting from the bottom and getting to the top thing that gives these redemption stories so much resonance.
Thank you.
Yes. And I love just the story, the way you took us through it. So, yes, we haven't seen you in a little bit, so it's so great to have you back, Crystal, and to share your geniusness with us. Can we step it up one more time for Crystal?
And I don't know if she can see Al's affirmation from Facebook, but he was saying, beautiful use of assonance and image. I love a phoenix. Thank you, Crystal. Beautiful and honest.
Thank you.
And also for Victoria, Al was saying, I love the first one. So rich in images.
Thank you for catching that, Dora. Appreciate that. Crystal, who would you like to have share next?
Razza.
Razza!
Okay. Wow. How do I top that? No way in the world. That was beautiful, by the way, Crystal. Okay. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I paused everybody's line. That's why you can't hear them.
Okay, cool. All right. All right. So, I don't know. Let's see. Give it a try here. So, to pray and to breathe and to let it be is what I have learned to do. To accept and embrace the struggles that come my way, knowing that I am not alone swimming in that bay. Learning to find beauty in it and learning to let it go, to let it be. Keeping it real is what I know best. Moving along as I continue to build my nest. Telling myself to slow down when I get racing thoughts that confuse me. Reminding myself that I need to be the one who should be in control of my own thoughts. Also realizing that there are certain things in life that are so not in my control. And accepting them with grace, no matter how difficult and painful it feels at that moment. Continuing to pray, to seek clarity, even though nothing makes sense, even though nothing is clear at that time, but also believing that I will be okay, that I need to believe in this firmly. Trying to find solace, peace in what was instilled in me, That is to love, to be humble, to be patient, and to honor whatever comes my way. There are so many more in this world whose struggles are way bigger than mine. So always try to find ways to come to terms and accept and embrace.
Can we snap it up for Razza, please? Yes.
Yes.
Who would like to share an
I was in the middle of the thought, so sorry. I don't know. I know it quite didn't end completely, but
it was Adora has her hand up. Go ahead, Adora.
Oh my goodness me, my heart was breaking. That was so soulfully read, beautifully thought out. I was just like, I need to not cry. This is such a wonderful insight into someone's soul. And I just feel so honored that you felt able to share this with us. And it's just so amazing. All of it just from your process and the way you've been looking for solace and accepting the now. And you can really feel that there's someone who's been through a lot and is coming out of it through the best possible way. And thank you.
Can we get a second affirmation?
I just want to say, like, after this, please continue that, because I love the part at the end where you're coming to acceptance. And I was like, what's the rest? And so I feel like just finish it. It's great. I love it.
Yeah. And I want to just add on, Razza, that you're a writer, and that was amazing. You did it exactly right. You dove into the process. And so I hope any doubts you have, or I hope it gives you confidence in your ability as a creative and someone to express yourself. So we really appreciate that.
Thank you. I was shaking for sure, though. I've never done anything like this this quickly, but thank you.
Yes, can we snap it up for Razza? Indeed. I'm guessing that although we can't see Al, that he is in the Zoom meeting now and can see us. Al, I don't know if you see there's a chat box down below if you want to type to us there, or you can keep typing on Facebook Live. But I'm guessing that you can now see us more clearly on here than through my camera onto the screen. Razza, who would you like to have share next? And as we've been mentioning, Al, we see his on Facebook Live. So that one, him, Dora, or Amina, who would you like to have share next?
Amina.
Yay. All right. So here we go. I want to create my own status quo. I am resolute, angry, and feel like I have nothing to lose. And I want things to be different. I am my own standard. I am my own person. Nobody wins when the family feuds. That I'm fine just the way I am, and that I am the way that I deserve to be. That I need self-acceptance, and I need my good friends. That I am my own status quo. That I am my own status quo. That I enjoy doing what I want, when I want, where I want, the way I want. I need to accept myself, and sometimes I feel less than. Sometimes I feel amazing, and sometimes I feel I have to compensate. But at the end, I am my own status quo.
Yay! Can we get 2 affirmations going? Is that Adora? Go ahead, Adora.
Oh my, look at you, the Family Feud quote. You had me down. I was like, what? As you can tell, I thoroughly enjoyed that, as I enjoy all of your writing. And I like how, you just took the time to work out a few very salient thoughts and shared those with us. And it was just, yeah, this is why we do Phoenix the Artist.
Oh, thank you.
Would anyone like to share a second affirmation? Did you have the poem written down in 2 different places?
Yes, I did. I had some on my computer, then I was writing some. I was going back and forth.
It seemed like such a, the kind of the essence of an artist, where it's like, let me write it on the wall. Now let me write it on the floor. Must get this out of my head. On your hand.
Exactly. I need to start writing it here.
So I really appreciated the embodiment of the burst of inspiration and really just expressing it, getting it out wherever you can and expressing yourself and really finding that, your subconscious really has something to say to the world. And as we said in the interview that I think y'all should check out, the interview I did with Amina, where really calling yourself an artist and living it. So I really appreciate that, Amina.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Crystal. Yeah.
Like, this is probably because I know you, but when you were speaking about family and then like being yourself and independent, it kind of reminded me of like your journey, through medical school and becoming, who you are today. It had visions of you, like your white coat and everything, like in your books. And it was just, I don't know, maybe, did you feel that when you were writing it, or was that just me?
I don't know. I just, whatever was in my head just went on the paper, honestly.
No, it was awesome. I really loved it. Thank you.
Can we snap it up for Amina? Yeah. Al, test out your mic.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes. Hooray.
Great. You can actually hear me. That's ridiculous. Okay. Hello, everybody. Thank you. I've been really enjoying this.
Well, we've been enjoying having you, so appreciate it. So should we have Al go next? I know we've been having people, but Al, why don't you share your poem with us?
Cool. It's not necessarily a poem. Fuck it, I'll just read it. So I said, I wish I could land into something familiar that repeats. The sense of a status quo seems almost impossible, beyond the possibilities of the frame that I've stumbled into for myself. Status quo, it's a band in the 80s that shouted with guitars, and it's a conservative dream of the way things should be for me. Is it anything other than an idea that there's a platform to leap from? I keep leaping and finding out my feet are in suet. I don't trust that there can be a kind status quo. I want there to be such a thing. We all want stability and a platform that isn't made of suet. I want to stand on a stage like the hairy guitarist in the 80s and leap from it, knowing that there will be people to catch me in the crowd, but usually it's just a faceplant on concrete. If my status quo has been chaos for so long, what can it be for people who are less lucky than I am? I have a home and I have warmth and food. Is that my status quo? That the cat and the friends I've picked up over the years? How can we be satisfied with the things that we disempower when we frame them as normal? Maybe the things that we take for granted are status quo, and maybe we just accept that we're all jumping from a stage made out of suet and work out how to cook the suet into a nice hard pudding that can take the impression of our wandering feet and guide us to whatever it is that we think we need to be happier. Status quo, stability, ground, footing. But also to me, it speaks of the way things have always been. And is it not time for that to change, to revolutionize ourselves internally so we are ready to bring our internal revolution out into the world and be avatars of a new, shining, personal status quo where people can be drawn to the possibility of personal change and see that it can lead to a possibility of global change where these ancient monsters that have always lurked at the edges of power can be overthrown by millions of people like us leaping from our beautifully cooked suet pudding spotted dick platforms of currents into the current. Why do we seek you, quo? Why do we use the language of an imperial culture that trampled on art and killed gladiators for fun to express an idea of stability? Yes, they built out of stone for posterity, but they crucified and tore and ripped, and we use their words to speak of stability. I'd sooner have a rock band.
Ooh.
Fire!
Whoa.
Amen.
That was a lot.
Can the church stand up, please?
Can we get 2 affirmations for Al, please?
Using the words of imperialism. Oh my God. Yes. Everything you said was a resounding yes. I'll let someone else talk.
Al, I feel like it was totally worth the suspense, I'm trying to get the mic to work. I'm so glad we did because it was brilliant. I loved your stream of thought way of writing where you really just let go and gave yourself permission to get the inside out on the paper. And there were so many one-liners and it was brilliant. So I appreciate that.
Well, thank you for having me, guys.
Yeah. Can we snap it up for Al?
Yeah.
I'm grateful that we connected on Facebook and that you were able to join us on here. Really appreciate it.
You just popped up on my live feed and I was doing nothing else. So I'm glad of
it. So Adora.
No, I gotta.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
Al,
I was gonna just say something. As beautiful and amazing as it was, so nice. The British accent made it that much more sexier. I gotta say that.
I feel like British people wait for Americans. They're like, when's that accent coming?
I don't know if they're used to hearing it from straight Muslim men, though. So I think it adds a nice little twist.
I'm secure like that, you know.
We like it. Can we step it up one more time for Al, please? Yes. Yeah. And thank you for adding that at the end, Razza. We appreciate your affirmation. Adora, would you like to share?
Yes, indeed. Let me see if I can find it. Aha. I struggle to think of people I know who are living their lives on their own terms. I can think of people who say they are, people like Tony Robbins and Brenda Bouchard, who teach you to create your own status quo and live within it. Or people like Oprah, who seem equipped with all the resources, experiences, and hard-won life lessons at every level, who stand as a dark beacon of aspiration. But truth is, I know them as well as I know everyone else whose Facebook status proclaims a life that may or may not be unfolding as the pictures and words suggest. I could maybe try to divine from their lives or those around me who is deliberately creating their own status quo. Perhaps the Bishop Catherine Roscombe, who has lived many lives before coming to the church and rising to the top, who uses her platform to talk about social justice and actively pursue it. Maybe it's something older women grow into if it escapes them in their youth. The freedom to wear purple velvet from head to toe and say or do as they please without caring about other people's responses. Their status quo is whatever they damn well want. However, because status quo is really about the internal being, the personal equilibrium, perhaps we can never know who's thriving in a status quo of their own making. But the truth remains that we all live in a status quo of our own making. What we need to constantly challenge, though, is how much of this we made on purpose and how much of it is destroying our joy and our hopefulness. And we have to decide, too, how much of it we're willing to dismantle and rebuild on purpose for our own sakes. Otherwise, we'll be the ones who trapped our own selves in status updates that have nothing to do with our own peace of mind.
Can we snap it up for Dora, please?
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes.
Wow.
That was powerful. Can we get 2 affirmations, please?
I'll go.
Go ahead, Amina.
Dora, I love how thoughtful and reflective your sentences are. It's like it really is like hearing your voice on paper.
Yes, I like that. Can we get a second affirmation, please?
I really love the fact that you really explored how, although people present a certain amount of their lives on Facebook, you really have to accept the fact that you really don't know what's going on in their lives. Yeah.
Exactly. Can we step it up one more time for Adora? Appreciate it. And I loved all the name drops too. That was nice. Okay. Is that everybody but me? Has everybody got to go? Okay. I'll share mine with y'all and then we shall move into our feature. Breathe, relax, and release. Breathe, refresh, and be at peace. Breathe in deeply, hold it. Breathe in a little more, and now deeply from your belly, release. This is a journey specifically for you. You are uniquely qualified to walk it. No one else can take this pathway. Only you can travel down this road. Before you arrived, you, with full knowledge of all that was to come, intentionally chose to come here as you, to create, to express, to experience, to grow, to love, to forgive, and most importantly, to enjoy the expansion of all that you are. But you did not come alone. A part of you remains connected to infinity, to everything, to all knowing, to 99 names, to the oneness, to the part of you, along with all of creation and divinity, constantly holds you in its attention with all the love of the world, with all of the care, all of the acceptance you seek. It is holding you in a space of unimaginable love. Its attention is always on you, wishing you the best. It whispers to you and offers you constant feedback in the form of your emotions. For this life you live was intended to feel good. It was intended to be one of happiness and exploration. The steering wheel is following your bliss, your intuitions, your whims. So rather than grit and force and fire and I have to, or I should, or I must, or if I don't this, maybe this will happen, or what will the neighbors think? Instead, let it all go. Trust yourself and the voice from within, and most importantly, boldly create and live your own status quo. We step it up for time. Can we get 2 affirmations, please?
That was awesome. It was like a meditation class with like a deep thought embedded in it. It's empowering. You write in an empowering way, and and I love the idea that our life is intended to make us feel good. And it's it was awesome. It was beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you, Al. I really appreciate that. Can we get a second affirmation for Tom? Go ahead, Dora.
I know how resistant you are to using you in the things that you do. So whenever you use you, I know it's a very deliberate way to bring people in. And it totally did that for me with this poem. And it's like I was saying, yes, it felt like a meditation class, but it also felt like an accountability call out, really just almost like telling you about yourself and reading you up and down. So that was great. Thank you, my love.
My pleasure. Can we step it up for Tom? Okay, that was powerful, y'all. I'm glad that everybody wrote and that everybody read, and that I know that from hearing each of you that I grew a little bit, and I'm sure that all of us here from writing and reading ourselves grew. So I know that if even one person was missing today, that this wouldn't have been the same experience. So can we give one more snaps for everybody that's here listening? Appreciate it. And so, without further ado, we want to move into the portion of the expression session, which is our feature, which is Amina, activist, artist, troublemaker, also known as Phoenix, the artist LA. Amina's coming in from LA, and she's going to share with us her feature. She'll share some poems, and then in the middle of the poem, she's going to ask you some questions, see what you think, and then we'll go back to her poem. So you can relax. I'm going to have everybody's lines muted, Amina, until you say unmute, and then I'll unmute them and you can ask your questions. Does that sound good?
Okay, that sounds good.
All right. Can we snap it up without further ado? Amina!
Snap. All right. So hello, everyone. This is my first time doing a feature. Hope you guys enjoy. And I'm going to start off. I'm going to do 2 poems and then ask some questions. My poems are a little shorter, so you can have some time to think of your reactions or thoughts. And then I'm going to do 2 more and then the same thing. So that's what we're going to do. This first poem is called The Looking Glass. I am the dawn, blush pink with hope. I am the day, warm light with love. I am the sunset, stained, blood with fear. I am the night, ink blue in melancholy. I am the heavens, painted with my soul. That's Looking Glass. And then the second one, so hold on a sec, is called Rainbows. And Rainbows was sort of inspired by the idea of colorism, and which is very prevalent in Indian Pakistani society, the culture that I come from. And the the tagline that I had before this poem was lighter isn't better. And this is for all the people who suffer under colorism's unjust fist. So it goes like this. I am marked with the stain of my sorrow. I am colored with the depth of my joy. I am inscribed with the history of my people. I am the color of freedom. Okay, so I think we can unmute. So I guess I wanted to, kind of think of what sorts of thoughts or images sprung into your mind when you guys were hearing these poems, and any other thoughts or commentary that you had.
I wanted to say that when you said, I am the color of freedom, it was like vindication, Colorism in South Asian cultures is really, really, really detrimental. Whether you're either lighter or more medium toned or darker, it affects all of us because all of our families are different shades. You could be brothers and sisters and have like white, light, brown, whatever.
Right.
And people comment on that. And it's such a big prevalent issue. And I felt like saying that I am the color of freedom is like a slap to the face of all of that nonsense.
No, and I agree. And actually, it's interesting because I've been on the other side of it. I'm a lighter skinned Indian woman, and I've actually had people say, "Oh, you have light skin. That's so great." And exactly from the other end. And I'm sort of like, okay, well, that's offensive. But I also wanted to, this poem was inspired, that one in particular, by sort of the color of your skin being a story. That's what I meant by inscribed with the history of my people. Your skin shade is your legacy. It kind of gives clues into your heritage and where you're from. And rather than saying lighter is better or darker is worse or anything, that we're just acknowledging the story that that the color of your skin may tell.
That's beautiful.
Well, thank you. Anybody else? Yeah, Dora?
I was just thinking about how even with Looking Glass and with Rainbow, they're all essentially talking about reflection, and how even with the title Rainbow, now we use it more for the LGBTQ movement, but I remember the time in Nelson Mandela's day where it was about being a rainbow nation and having lots of colors that are completely welcome. And it's a full gamut, not just that you see in Asian society, but as you know, in the African American society and also African society, where it becomes part of the political system and everything else. And I was just even thinking about someone like Oprah when I was trying to talk about her earlier in my writing, how it's always this whole beacon of light thing. And I didn't want to be ascribing all light things as better, and how it's just so endemic in our language. And someone like Tamara has really helped me with that. Just even thinking about how often we use black to mean something terrible, even outside of any of this, and how every color of the rainbow can be used to make anything sound terrible. So it was just very much about that whole reflection, looking, and rainbowism that you brought up with your poems.
Yeah, thank you for sharing, Adora. Anyone else? Thoughts, shout outs? Okay.
That was powerful. That was really nice. Very powerful, I thought, actually.
I appreciate you saying that. All right, so I will move into my next two. So this one I wrote a couple months ago, but I'm reading sort of in the spirit of sort of the activist part of me, and inspired by some current events. So this one is called Warrior Princess. She is reborn from the fire, burnt to the bone, cinders scatter, her breath boiled down to the core. She lived to tell the tale from the belly of the beast. She wears her pain proudly, battle scars adorn her arms. She stands tall, her fist raised aloft in victory. So that's Warrior Princess. And then my second one is, or my fourth one, is a little different. This was actually inspired by my hometown in Seattle. And here goes. It's called Prayer. Ancient trees reach up to touch a darkening sky. Raindrops drip from arms of lush moss that drape this cathedral of stillness and silence. I remember with the soft ground beneath my feet that I am but an interloper in this most holy of spaces. All right, so we can unmute.
That was awesome.
Thank you. So same thing, any thoughts that you guys have or images or reactions?
I love as I said earlier, I love a phoenix, and I love the defiance in the first one, the sort of boiled down to the core, but you with the fist raised, and that really went through to me, and I found that very very moving, very beautiful piece of imagery. And the second one, for me, it spoke of, because I loved the ancient trees in the cathedral, beautiful sort of ancient things in that sense that we don't belong. I connected with that, with a lot of things that are going on with my life at the moment and places I've been. So I thought, but also I feel like we can be more and more than just interlopers, but I thought it was beautiful. And thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, that's actually a real place, by the way.
Where was it?
It was in British Columbia, in Vancouver, which is about 2 hours from where I grew up. So, and I went to it was actually a class through college where we went and studied forestry. And so we got to stay in this park that had that place.
How cool is that?
Yeah. So it's a real place. You can go stay. All right. Thoughts, reactions, and anything you guys are thinking.
It's really weird, but like everything that popped out to Al is exactly what popped out to me: the cathedral and the fist in the air. And I think the first poem I really connected with as someone who engages in this world similarly to you. And I just thought, like, the fist in the air, it's like, it's so you. And it's so me, and it's so like so many of the people that are our friends in our circles. Mm-hmm. You know, it's so Tom and Dora.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I think that one was really inspired by. My artist name is Phoenix, the artist, and so I think a lot of my artistic process has to do with, taking stuff that I've been through and making it something beautiful. So that was the inspiration for that poem.
Thank you. It was beautiful.
Dora?
I think the combination of two of them, the Warrior Princess and the prayer, just took me to something I'd been reading earlier in the week, or even earlier today, and how, yes, you're burned to a cinder, and how being a warrior can sometimes mean you die for your cause, but either way you go, you take the chance, you go forth for it. And there's this place in Scotland where this clan used to meet, and it sounds just like the place where you're describing. It's almost like a forest, and I think they call it the ground, the cairn of memories. And so the clan would assemble there before every great battle, and they'd all bring stones to put there. And then at the end of the battle, after everything's finished, they'd come and anyone who's remaining takes a stone away.
Mm-hmm.
So every stone left signifies one of the warriors that fell, and how they don't see themselves as interlopers. They see themselves as very much part of this cycle and this process and this prayer. So that's what it just brought to mind.
Mm.
No, thank you for sharing. And I think, I sort of put those two together because I think they sort of are opposites, but also kind of have an element of memory, you know, and I think that's really interesting. The Warrior Princess poem, I think, was also, I kind of mentioned my grandmother, and it's inspired by her a little bit, I think. And so, you know, part of my activism and is inspired by her struggle. And she was someone who believed in, you know, educating all her daughters before they got married, which in India at that time was a huge deal, you know. And so she's kind of someone that I was inspired by to write that poem.
Mm-hmm.
And anybody else?
God bless grandmothers.
Yes. I always appreciate how each of your poems, that I feel each word is intentionally chosen. I don't feel there's any wasted poems or any poems to get from one word to the next. I really enjoy how each one, you can almost like haikus, like a long haiku where you can drink in each one and really expand upon the meaning. And even the titles that we've all kind of referenced just have so much intentionality. So I really appreciate that about your writing.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. And I think with Tom, you kind of alluded to some of my artistic process. I think a lot of my work, even my written work, sort of goes back to imagery. And, you know, so with each one of these poems, there's maybe something that I saw or an image that I had in my mind. And then I sort of go about describing that. And that's where a lot of my writing starts. So, you know, that's, yeah. So, and, you know, as far as they're being shorter and intentional, I think, you know, in our world where there's a lot of distractions and data and a lot of things kind of coming at you, it's worth it to sort of have the spaces in between.
Exactly.
And the silence in between, and not have to have so much excess clutter and information, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah. So but I think that's that.
Yes.
For my poetry. I appreciate you guys all listening, and check me out at Phoenix the Artist LA on Instagram. I think maybe I'll type it in here.
Please do. And can we stamp it up for Amina, please? Can we show Amina some love?
Yoo-hoo.
And
Awesome.
I do recommend, if you haven't listened to it, to check out the interview I did with Amina for this week's episode. It's tomrell.com/Amina, or you can go to tomrell.com/blog. Listen to it, watch the video. Amina did an amazing interview. What we want to do with these last 4 minutes that we're here together is, first, we're going to take a selfie. So if we can see you, throw a little peace sign in the air, throw a heart, anything you'd like. Here we go. 3, 2. Perfect. And the way we like to conclude is we're going to go around the circle. And if you could share an affirmation for our feature, Amina, and if you could share an affirmation for this process in general, we would greatly appreciate that. Dora, would you like to start us off?
Sure. Amina, thank you so much for sharing your art with us, your artistic images and your artistic images that you paint with words, and just taking us all to a different and deeper point in our souls. And I think that's a wider affirmation for this process, how people are just so willing to take us within themselves, and also give us shout outs that remind us of people like Jay-Z, and also people like Status Quo from back in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a wide gamut that we get here, and I don't know anywhere else I can get that kind of community that helps me create my Status Quo.
Yeah. Perfect. And did you do an affirmation for the process? Did I hear?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Can we step it up for Dora? Yes. Razza, can you go next? Affirmation for Amina and affirmation for the process.
Yeah, it was really beautiful. And coming from Amina, I know how she talked about the background she comes from and what Crystal shed some light on about, the freedom part and whatnot. So that was really beautiful to me too. And for the process, I mean, this is new to me, but there was this energy that I felt. And to hear people saying such beautiful and sharing such beautiful sentiments in the moment, really. And I was really able to connect with that on some level with the energy I was getting. So it was really different, very powerful, beautiful to me.
Wonderful. Can we snap it up for Razza? Thanks for coming. I know this is your first time. I hope it's your first of many. Al, would you like to share an affirmation with Amina and an affirmation with the process?
Yeah, I thought Amina it was beautiful what she shared, and so well framed and well structured, and also for me to, as I said, I love the idea of a phoenix. I love the sense of being burnt down to the core, and the rebirth that you told us in the Battle Scars poem. That for me is something that I'm always kind of seeking and questing and looking for in other people. So thank you for keying that image to me again, and the defiance in that poem. I think the process for me, it was such a surprise because I was just sitting at home and I clicked on Facebook Live, and because you popped up, Tom, and but I'm really glad you did, and so thank you for being such. I wouldn't have stayed if it hadn't been such a beautiful, open, honest, and brave room full of strangers. So thank you, and it's been a lovely period of lovely hour or however long it has been.
And thank you, Al. We appreciate that. Can we snap it up for Al, please? Glad you were able to connect and hope you join us for future ones. Crystal, would you like to share next?
Yes. Amina, thank you so much for opening up your soul to us. This is a side of you that I'm so blessed to see and to be present for. And I'm so excited to see all the other work that you're going to produce and share with us on Instagram. And for the process, it's an incredible process. Every time I come into this space, I feel like, I don't really have much to say. And then I don't know, Tom, you just bring it out. It's you know exactly how to pull those thoughts out of people's brains. You know what I mean? And it's the perfect venue and encouraging, nurturing place for people who want to express themselves to come and not feel judged and feel like everything is loved and accepted and beautiful. So thank you.
Thank you. That's powerful. I appreciate that. Can we step it up for Crystal? Amina, we would like for you to share an affirmation with yourself and an affirmation for the process.
Sure. I think, this is the first time I've done a feature, so I'm going to give an affirmation to myself for doing it. I'm I didn't say I was nervous about doing a feature, but I think that I'm glad that it went well. And for the process, I'd say I love the inspiration I get from all of you. I think we all spend a lot of time in our own heads, and to hear all of your thoughts is very, I think someone alluded to sort of the energy and the process and energy that you feel. I think that's very unique to being in a shared space like this.
Wonderful. Can we snap it up one more time for Amina? Amina, nobody could tell that it was your first feature. You're a natural and a pro at this. So I really look forward to continuing to see the way that you express yourself through visual art and poetic art, and that you continue to share it with us, because we know that it makes a huge impact in the world, not only because of representation and sharing your voice, but also because you just as an individual, that what you have to say and share really matters a lot. For the process, this is what I feel my gift and my purpose align. And so it wouldn't be the same though if I was in a room by myself. And like I said, I feel every single person was here for a unique reason, and that you trusted your inner voice to being a part of it. And I think we all went a little bit outside of our comfort zone and grew and expanded. And by doing so, gave everybody else permission to do the same. And this will be replayed. So you never know the impact it's going to have when people listen to this, maybe even 2, 3, 4 years from now. Something you said today is going to unlock an opportunity for them to expand. So I think the more and more we trust that, the more we have courage in sharing. So could you snap it up one more time for yourselves? Want to let you know that our next live and online expression session will be on February 18th at noon Pacific Standard Time, 3 p.m. if you're on the East Coast, and I believe that to be 8 p.m. London time. Would love to have you all. We do have a training next Saturday, which is the 27th at noon. That won't be an expression session. That's a training that's for Celebration Academy members, and it focuses on leadership development and manifesting an amazing year. So would like to invite you all to be a part of that too. If you're available next Saturday, I'll follow up with the info. But those are all the things we have coming up in the next month. Everybody, this has been super awesome. Can you snap it up one more time for yourselves?
Woo-hoo, yeah.
Thank
So,
you. Thank
my
you.
pleasure.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. As always, we're wishing you peace and blessing. Have a good rest of your day.
Okay.
Thank you, Tom. Thanks so much. That was awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.